the National Cold War Center and Museum.
From its beginning as the Blytheville Army Airfield in 1942 to its closure as the Acre Air Force Base in 1992, one facility in northeast Arkansas played a vital part in the Cold War, the war that saved the world.
The Cold War fundamentally shaped this country's politics, culture, and institutions to this day, and it affected virtually every corner of the globe. It edged the world towards the brink of nuclear war that would have brought death and destruction on an unimaginable scale. And so in Blytheville, we have this authentic site that can bring that history to life, what it felt like to fight and survive the Cold War.
Thousands of patriotic Americans were stationed at Blytheville Air Force Base over the years as part of the 97th Bombardment Wing. Some of them endured the unimaginable in service to our country. In March of 1972, the majority of the 97th Wing's bombers, tankers, and personnel were moved to Andersen Air Force Base in Guam to support various operations in the Vietnam conflict. Among them was Robert Surton, a B-52 navigator who flew 100 missions over Southeast Asia in 1971 and 1972. Scheduled to leave Guam to return home on December 18th, one last fateful bombing mission on December 17th ended in tragedy.
We were exactly to the second on time, and then about 15 seconds before bomb release, we'd opened the bomb doors. And just a few seconds after I started the stopwatch, we lost power. We lost electrics, we lost the bombing system, we lost the radar. And I'm thinking, that co-pilot just knocked the generators offline. And then the co-pilot started yelling, "They've got the pilot, they've got the pilot." I thought, what?
After a surface-to-air missile struck the plane, it went up in flames. Several crew members died, and the rest, including Colonel Surton, ejected. Colonel Surton landed unharmed, but unfortunately was not home free. He was captured by Vietnamese militia at gunpoint and taken to the infamous prisoner of war camp known as the Hanoi Hilton.
And here I was in the Hanoi Hilton as either the first or second B-52 crew member to be captured by any enemy anywhere, not knowing what's going to happen next. They wanted to know where I came from. And I wasn't prepared to answer that question, so I told them Arkansas, which was true, it just wasn't the most recent truth. They wanted to know if I wanted to write a letter home, and I first said it's my Geneva Convention right, which the guy went ballistic over that, yelled and screamed. But he came back in a bit with a paper and a pen and an inkwell and sat down across the table from me and said, "Now I tell you what to write." And I pushed it away and I said, "Nope. I'll write what I want to write or I won't write at all." And then he really went ballistic. Told me I would never see my family again. I was going to die.
After enduring more than 3 months of imprisonment, Colonel Surton was freed on March 29, 1973. After the Vietnam War, he went on to become a U.S. Air Force chaplain and served as the national chaplain for several years. In 2006, he presided over the funeral of President Gerald Ford.
People thought, adding, "You don't think they, the police, could do as diplomatic observers claim the West leaders have adopted a stand."
Government cares and try to prevent every possible.
For those Americans who did not experience it, it's difficult to imagine living under the constant threat of nuclear annihilation. But that was the reality of the Cold War, a time we cannot afford to forget. The purpose of the National Cold War Center is to create a place where these historical events will never be forgotten. The center will preserve the stories of the brave men and women who guarded the fragile peace between two powerful nations. Some of whom, like Colonel Robert Surton, paid a heavy price. The project is underway with a world-class team of historians, architects, and museum designers who appreciate the significance of a national museum of this magnitude.
The alert pad is coming back to life. While we have seen the news of several bombers being pulled from the desert boneyard to be regenerated over the past couple of years, this has to be a first for a former bomber alert facility. The former Blytheville Air Force Base alert facility is currently having its pavement cleaned, its asphalt shoulders resurfaced, and its painted lines restriped. Of particular note, this includes the red, no loan zone lines in each parking stub and the white lines across the taxiway to the runway. The brown metal telephone boxes at each parking stub are actually still there. This restoration work is in addition to the work already done to other buildings on the alert pad, such as the Entry Control Point, Security Forces Fire Team Building, and the Crew Readiness Building.
The restoration of the Ready Alert compound has begun.
All of this, including the adjacent weapon storage area, is part of the National Cold War Center campus on base. When completed, the center will be a campus that will tell the story of the Cold War from both sides.